So, you can understand English native speakers. Can you also understand movies and TV shows in English? Can you understand YouTube videos just like this one? But the moment you try to speak, it feels impossible? If that sounds like you, this video is for you. The first thing you need to do if you want to improve your speaking skills is simple, and that is to increase the amount of time you're speaking English. But how can you do that? Where can you find people to speak with? Finding speaking partners is a powerful way for you to not only to practice your language skills, but also have the motivation of wanting to be able to express and communicate more in English. You can use apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or italki to find language exchange partners. These platforms will connect you with English native speakers or other English learners who are interested in improving their language skills. Once you've found someone you can practice with, set up regular sessions speaking in English, or if they're a language exchange partner, spend half your time speaking English and the other half speaking your native language. Another thing you can do is to join English speaking clubs. Look online or perhaps in your own town or city where people come together regularly to practice their English skills. Many of these clubs focus on casual conversations where you can improve your more informal language, while others are more structured and have specific topics that you're encouraged to speak about at a specific meeting. By practicing with other learners, you're creating a safe space with someone who's gone through or is going through the same frustrating process of learning English as you. That will not only make you feel like you're not alone, but also feel more supported as you go through your journey. And practice with friends. If you have friends who are either fluent in English or also learning English, arrange times to meet up, and instead of speaking in your native language, try to speak in English instead, even if you're tempted to switch to your native language. This will give you valuable speaking practice that is extremely important if you're not living in an English-speaking country. Next, you want to try to speak English daily. This could be hard, especially if you've already tried finding someone to speak English to, whether it be a native speaker or someone who's already fluent. Or maybe you don't feel comfortable yet speaking English to another person. If that sounds like you, what you can do is to practice self-talk. Make it a habit to speak out loud to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing. What are your plans for the day? Talk about past events. All of this will help you think in English and improve your English skills at the same time. Narrating your day is also another way you can practice speaking English by yourself. Talk about what you're doing while you're doing them. For example, if you're cooking, describe the steps out loud in English. And if you don't know how to say something, use your phone to find the translation and then say it out loud. This reinforces everyday vocabulary and makes you feel more comfortable speaking a foreign language. Another thing is interest-based topics. So practice self-talk, but with a twist. Talk about subjects you're passionate about, such as hobbies, work, or current events. This will not only make learning English more enjoyable, but will help you develop vocabulary related to your interests, making conversations more fluent and engaging when you build up the confidence to speak to another person. If you're interested in learning the same tips that I give my students for improving your English, then check out my free English guide, link in the description and first pinned comment. This guide will give you tips, tricks, and advice for improving your English faster and more effectively. So again, make sure you click the link in the description or first pinned comment and get that guide. Now with that out of the way, let's get back to the video. The next thing you want to do to improve your speaking ability is to focus on fluency rather than accuracy. So many of my students worry and stress that they need to speak English perfectly without any mistakes in order to start speaking. And what I always tell them is this: mistakes are one of the most important things in language learning, because they tell you which parts of your language skills you need to work on. And more importantly, for most native English speakers, we care more about understanding the message than if there are mistakes in what you've said. This is because English is the language of the world, of business, entertainment, and international communication. And because of this, we are exposed to all sorts of accents, dialects, and levels of English spoken by different native speakers. So for us, hearing someone speak English and make a ton of mistakes is normal. Most of us only care about understanding the message that you're trying to say. So what I really want you to remember is you need to focus on overcoming perfectionism. Remind yourself every day that making mistakes is a natural part of language learning. Focus on getting your point across rather than what you're saying being grammatically perfect. Over time, as you become more comfortable speaking English, your accuracy will improve naturally, especially combined with the other tips in this video. Next thing you want to do is practice positive reinforcement. After speaking English, really think about what you did well rather than focusing on your mistakes. This builds confidence and reduces your fear of speaking. You can also keep a journal and track where you've improved in English and which parts of your English you need to work on. Next is to use simple sentences. Start small, especially as you build your confidence in speaking English. And when you do speak it, focus on saying short, simple sentences when speaking. So for example, if you're working at an international company, instead of saying, I've been working on a very detailed and complex project for several weeks now, and maybe that's how you would express it in your native language. But at the beginning of your journey improving your speaking skills, divide them up into shorter, more simple sentences. So instead say, I am working on a project. It is detailed. It takes a lot of time. Although this sounds less advanced like the previous sentence, you'll be getting your point across to whoever you're speaking to and building the confidence and the experience you need in speaking English that will slowly reinforce your speaking skills and allow you to speak English with more confidence every time you speak. After you've started using these small sentences, gradually start to increase the complexity of what you say and really consider combining these smaller ideas into more complex sentences. For example, you can combine the last two sentences in the previous example and say, I'm working on a detailed project that takes a lot of time. Next, practice on rephrasing. Take a more complex sentence that you would say in your native language and rephrase it in a simpler way. This will help you develop the ability to communicate effectively in English without getting your thoughts all mixed up, trying to say something directly translated from your native language into English. Instead, rephrase and say something simpler. Also, please don't forget to get my free guide for learning English, link in the description and first pinned comment, that will give you the same sort of tips, tricks and advice that I give my students and now I'm giving to you for free. Again, link in the description and first pinned comment. If you want to sound more like a native speaker, watch this video here that talk all about it. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it and want more lessons just like this, make sure to subscribe. And if you've enjoyed this video and want me to make more lessons, make sure you smash that like button so I know. And with that, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!